Hello and welcome to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today.
Everyone's journey is not like anyone else's. And we do believe it is an obvious statement, but we tend to forget that. What I learned over the years is that our own history can help inspire, motivate, empower, or even move someone into their own next. Today, I get the opportunity to interview yet another amazing client. Vonda's journey this year has been so inspiring to watch, and I know that her story is going to inspire others as well. So, welcome, Vonda. I'm so glad that you are willing to share your story with our listeners. So, to begin, tell us a little about yourself, a little background, just whatever you want to share with us.
Okay. Thanks for inviting me to be a part of all this, Coach Darcy. I am married. I have a couple of step kids who are adults and they are also married. I have actually one grandbaby who will be a year old in just about 2 weeks. And I am retired. I retired a little earlier than a lot of people. Um, and let's see, that's pretty much my basic background.
Great. And this sweet little baby that's going to be turning, what you said, two?
One.
One. Oh my goodness, those are precious years.
Yeah, I wish she lived closer.
Oh, yes. So, let's talk about, coaching and what we talk about in the coaching world here. We talk about our enough moment. Do you recall the time and place or any specifics of an enough moment for you? And would you share your story?
Yes, I'm okay with sharing my story on that. It was in January of this year. It was a Friday, and there was a picture taken at Christmas with the family, all the kids, and we were sitting down, and I happened to be positioned at the end and kind of turned sideways a little bit. Not a very flattering pose for someone who's overweight. And I saw that picture and I compared myself to the others that were sitting on the couch with me. And it got me upset. And the other thing that happened is I have kind of like a twofold enough moment. I was planning a trip and found out that I didn't make the weight requirements for a plane ride that I wanted to do. And you could have bought two seats, but just the fact that I didn't make the weight requirements for that plane ride got me upset. So on a Friday in January, I had had enough. I saw Coach Monica on Facebook. I called her and we had scheduled our um, initial interview for that Friday evening. And then on Saturday, I was signed up and in the program. I was like, here, sign me up now. I'm ready. So
Here
I
we go.
actually started on a Saturday in January of this past year because I had had enough of, having to deal with certain limitations that were being put on me because I was considered morbidly obese.
So, so from then on, watching your journey in my perspective, because I did not, I didn't, I'm not your coach, but being on the outside, it just, to me, a spark just ignited. And I loved watching. the very beginning to where you are now. And the thing that speaks out to me the most is your traveling desires and what you have accomplished this summer alone is amazing. Would you mind like expanding on a little bit about how you felt then and what you actually got to do?
Yeah, I like to travel. It's my hobby. And now that I'm retired, I'm able to do more of my hobby. And I went on a 3-week road trip in July. I went to over 20 states and I did all the driving myself. I had no one in the car with me the entire time. And I was bound and determined that I was going to stay on plan. And my goal was to actually lose weight on my road trip. I even bought a travel scale, not for food, but for me, that kind of scale. And at the end of the 3-week trip, I had lost weight on a road trip.
Wow. That's amazing.
So, yeah, they, sometimes would have like pancakes and sausage links, and I would walk, and I love pancakes. I'd walk right by them, go to the sausage links.
Hmm.
It's just making those kinds of conscious decisions and not throwing up your hands and say, well, I'm on vacation.
Hmm.
So,
Which we tend to do. That's a
yeah, a
majority
lot
of
of
us tend to
people,
do that.
you know,
Yeah.
and there was nothing on this road trip that I saw to eat that would be something that I could not eat later after I reach my goal weight in moderation, or that I have not eaten in the past. And so there was nothing enticing me. And I actually was one of those people that go to the gym at the hotel and exercise, which I have never done before. And so if I wasn't doing enough walking, going and seeing stuff, I would go to the gym at the hotel and walk on the treadmill. So I also was trying to keep up the exercise on my road trip.
Wow. What do you think, what do you believe to be your, I guess, highlight of being able to do this road trip?
Um, just the fact that I'd lost some weight and gotten physically and mentally stronger, and I know I could not have done that road trip a year earlier.
Hmm.
I was just in a much better place thanks to KM Health Coaching than I was a year ago.
Wow. That's awesome. And you're going to take me on your next trip, right? You can take.
No, someone's
Ah,
already on that.
it's Monica, isn't it?
No, I'm going to Vermont in about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nothing's
Um,
nothing holding you back now.
Also, I wanted to talk a bit about things that we call NSVs,
Okay.
which are non-scale victories.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
for me, I am getting more motivation to continue from the non-scale victories than I am from the number on the scale. So
Oh,
I
wow.
wanted to go into that, just some of my personal non-scale victories.
Yes.
Um, I am no longer on any prescription meds except for one that helps me sleep at night.
Mm.
So, no blood pressure meds, nothing.
Wow.
And also I had and you and I have talked about skin conditions that we share. And I
Hmm.
had a place of sun damage on my face that at one point I even had lasered off and it came back.
Mm.
It is now gone.
Wow. That's
So,
amazing.
yeah, the skin damage on my face from the sun, the laser couldn't even get rid of it, but this way of eating and being healthy has gotten rid of it. It's gone.
That's amazing.
Um, the skin tags are disappearing, and I wasn't even, trying to watch that, but I was like one day, hey, I don't have as many skin tags, and they're going away. Um, and just the stamina. I recently toured a facility that my stepdaughter works at. We walked over 3 miles touring the facility, and I could not have done that a year ago either.
Wow.
So that was just a couple weekends ago. So there's non-scale victories like that added stamina and, just the other health questions. Like your skin is an organ. We
Yeah.
talked about that too. And just things that I'm seeing. I had some GERD going on before. I don't have that anymore. And I've had girlfriends tell me, your skin's looking great. Or I don't hear you burping as much. And, so other people are noticing.
Wow.
And one of my friends, she was like, you're not insisting we sit in a booth at this restaurant? And I said, nope, I don't have to sit in a booth all the time anymore. So a lot of those non-scale victories, some of them are tiny, just like I don't have to sit in a booth, but and some of them are larger for me, like the stamina. But that is really when I'm feeling like I'm not being successful, because we all have those moments.
Hmm.
I think more of those non-scale victories than I do how much weight I've lost.
Yeah. Isn't
So
that
really, I
amazing?
have not lost a ton of weight. And I will also add that I have been overweight since like third grade. And so I have a lot of insulin resistance, which I know, you're familiar with, and a lot of the people probably going to be listening to this have heard that being told to them that they have insulin resistance.
Hmm.
And so it's taken me longer, I feel like, to get some of the weight off. But, I'm just not as focused on the number on the scale. And I think that helps propel me forward.
Yeah. And so when you first started, that weight loss was probably priority, but then what you're saying is that now, and what I hear you saying is that now you're focused on the metabolic health, and that's kind of being more prominent instead of what the scale says.
Correct.
Okay, that's awesome. So let's kind of dive a little bit deeper into your journey. Um, do you recall a time, like when you talk about your non-scale victories, did you have a moment where you felt like the light bulb turned on about that, or the scales just kind of started to come off of your eyes, as I like to describe it as? Do you have a time when that light bulb um, came on and you knew at that moment that you were never going to turn back?
I don't think I had like a light bulb moment. It's more over time. Like I said, these non-scale victories are fueling me to go forward. But I don't think there was like one particular instance.
Mhm.
Uh, and the skin damage from the sun I was telling you about, I just happened to notice it. You know, it kind of took me aback because I wasn't even looking for that. And I'm able to go out without near as much makeup on now. I've had people comment about that. Like, I had lunch with a friend I hadn't seen in about 20 years, and I didn't have a stitch of makeup on. And she said, you always wear makeup. She says, you look like you got makeup on now. You're glowing. And I'm like, I don't have any. So, just
Wow.
I don't think there was one moment that turned the light bulb on. I think it's just been kind of over time, the progress of this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. I understand that with my why and what my whys are. Those just over time collect. And
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So tell me, we're gonna do another pivot. What advice would you have someone out there that may be listening right now that is near a rock bottom? What would you tell them right now?
Don't delay on improving your health. Start it now. Don't wait another day. I think that's the biggest thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
There are people I see on my travels and friends that I have that are overweight and struggling, and they don't seem to have reached that rock bottom point. But if you are there, and if you are even near there, don't wait anymore. you'll end up gaining a lot, like the traveling I've done and even touring the facility with my stepdaughter, all those moments that I now have that I would not have had last year. So don't wait another day or month or do it now.
Right. Do you find anything since you started in January? Do you find anything challenging still as you are on this journey? And what is it and how do you overcome it?
Yeah, one thing I'm still struggling with is my sleep. I've had sleep issues for decades. I remember even having sleep issues in high school. And Coach Monica says that that's throwing my cortisol out of whack. And that will stall, like I said, the scale. And I'm still struggling with that. So the sleep issue is probably my biggest issue that I'm still trying to work out and come to terms with.
Hmm. Okay. And any last thoughts, comments, anything that you would love for our listeners that are listening to your story right now? Anything that you would want to share?
Yeah, the things that you've heard in the past 20 years, 30 years about, you know, eat fat free foods, don't eat egg whites, just all these things that we've heard in the past 20 or 30 years, forget about all that. That's not the way to go to do things. That's not healthy eating. I saw a post on Facebook which resonated with me, but think about what your ancestors ate 100 years ago. Did they have fat free half and half? No. Did they have margarine? No. So, and all these prepackaged food, and there's so much hidden sugar in things. Just try to be more aware of the foods that you're eating and what's in it. I recently discovered that some places even put sugar in chicken salad. Who
Mm,
knew? You know.
yeah,
So um, that's what I would say is just you've got to rethink how we've been taught to eat in the past 20 or 30 years.
right, right. Well, hey, thank you so much, Vonda, for sharing and being vulnerable with us. And um, our listeners are gonna be are just getting gold right here. So we're coming from Coach Monica and myself. We're so proud of you, and we can't wait to continue to watch your journey and all the traveling that you're going to be doing in the near future. And one of these days, maybe I'll get invited. I don't know. Maybe Monica will. Maybe we both go. But thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you, Coach Darcy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everyone out there. We are going to continue with a few more of our clients. And as they volunteer, we are going to continue to bring you some of a different perspective that's just not only Coach Monica and I's story, but also we're going to hear from our other clients that are also wanting to volunteer. So we will all see you the next time that we are on this podcast. Bye.